We left off 850, bottom paragraph. Just spend just a few minutes on this. We say in the Shema, he says, why? Because it's addressing every type of person. There's one person who's willing, who's generous. He's willing to give of his means. But what about to forego his personal honor? That he's not willing to. Another person is willing to forego his honor, but he's not willing to part with his possessions. So we're addressing at all levels. A Jew has an obligation to display and demonstrate his love for Hashem. The Torah says one's obligated to give his life. Does it say you should give your possessions? It's understood. What's more precious than a person's life? If you're giving it all away, this level of dedication, people, they value their lives more than their possessions. Nevertheless, even to give away your life, to forfeit your life. There are other people that the money is more dear to them than their physicality, than their body. Whatever level, whatever you value and esteem and you're dedicated to, you have to give it up to show your love for Hashem. He says maybe what the pasuk in Shema is addressing is because it's just addressing different types of love among individuals. You have people dedicated to one another. There's a person who's dedicated, he'll do nothing for a friend. No holdbacks. There are other persons, the level of dedication between relationship between two individuals. Not only will I give you of my money, whatever, even in my physicality, be involved. All three levels. I always say, a friend has a financial problem. And he goes to a very good friend, and he helps him. So the person says, but I still need more. He says, look, I've done my best. I can't do more. Can't do more. And I can't do more. And then time passes. His own son has the same situation. And he does more. Before you said you couldn't do more. So if you couldn't do more, so why are you doing for your son? But for your son, you do more. When he said he couldn't do more, he meant he couldn't do more. It's not, he wasn't in any way lying. He really couldn't. Because it's a different level of understanding of how much you could do. It's like doing for yourself. And maybe for your son, you'll even do more than you do for yourself. So it's, again, see, the different levels of people, or the different levels of relationships. For one friend, you'll give of your money. The other friend, you'll even, not only your money, you'll even inconvenience yourself. The third, even it means even giving your life. It's called home beso. Pasuk. If a man offered all his wealth for love, he would be utterly derided. David, the relationship between David and Yonasan was the son of Shaul. The love was a love of nafsho, meaning they would give their life for one another. That's how dedicated they were. Wonderful was your love to me more than the love of women. People misinterpret this. They misinterpret this. Certain people misinterpret it. Yeah. Chas v'sholom, it could be misunderstood. There was a case, there was a story. I once heard somebody years ago, and this person should have known better, but he was an old fool. And he said that. David was that. I said, you know something? I said, better go check your sources. But there was a case many years ago, famous story. There was the old community in Yerushalayim. It was called Yishuv HaYoshan, and then there was Yishuv HaChodosh. The Yishuv HaYoshan was Rav Yosef Sonnenfeld was the Rav of the old community. Originally, Rav Shmuel Salant was the Rav of that community. No. The community, they're very, very observant. And then, when Chaim Weizmann came, there was a whole different level. And so there was a person. He was a Spanish-Portuguese Jew, came from Holland, from Amsterdam. His name was Dahan, and he himself came from a very prestigious family. He himself had about 6 PhDs. His family was very wealthy, and they were connected with the royalty of Europe. The King of England. I mean, every echelon of government, he could, pick up the call. He was welcome. That was his level. And he himself originally was an assimilated Jew. He may have been maybe even married initially to I'm not sure if he was married to a non-Jew. Very assimilated. And then he became a Baal Tshuva. You know what it means to have this man, an intimate, dedicated person of your community, and there was nothing he wouldn't do for Rabbi Yosef Sonnenfeld. Whatever had to be done, and what is the lifeline in Kemach in Torah? And Weizmann dictated to them. It says, you know something? You people don't do what we want, we cut you off. You people are going to starve. So he was going to make a trip to Europe. This Dahan. The night before he made the trip, somebody came in, put a bullet through his heart, and killed him. Famous story. He was killed. He was murdered. There was an inner circle where they said they would not reveal who the murderer was until most of that group passed away. It was just revealed just recently. Just a few years ago, they revealed who the murderer was. Of course, they did it for the sake of, for the stake, They justified it, because it was important, this and that, because if he exposes us in Europe and this and that, because if he would have, then they would have been able to retain their financial independence. But because he was the key. Without him, then they're dependent on the other group. And that's what they did. So afterwards, it was such an outrage and such an outcry afterwards, because it was clear he was killed in cold-blooded murder. So they said, that's what they said. They said, you know what he was? He was that. He was a homosexual. He was this. He was a deviant, subhuman being. That's word spread in Yerushalayim then, after he was killed, because there was such an outrage to go to such a degree. It looked terrible for the other side. So that's the rumor they spread. And once it spread, that quelled it. Things quieted down. You read history. This is, you probably could Google it. You'll read history. You know Ben Tzvi, who was the first president of Israel. No, but after the state. Ben Tzvi. Not after the state was founded. No. Maybe you say, okay, Ben Tzvi. He was part of that group. He was part of that group.
They killed him?
He was part of the plot to have him murdered. He's not the one who pulled the trigger. He may have even said years later that they made a very serious mistake by doing it. They justified it, whatever it is, for the survival of it or the future. Yeah, whatever. Nothing.